Reduced appetite is another, or perhaps increased appetite. People tend to complain of cravings. But if you look at these symptoms, they're very common to all kinds of other conditions. For those of you who listened to our podcast Gut Check a couple months ago, when we talked about small intestine bacterial overgrowth as a major cause of disease, those symptoms overlap. So small intestine bacterial overgrowth symptoms overlap with leaky gut symptoms, which overlap with irritable bowel symptoms and all the other gastrointestinal conditions that we can name.
Hey, Dr. Lynn, sorry to cut in. You have a caller from the 401 area code. Let's see what we got here.
Perfect. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Is this Dr.
I'm great. What is your name, please?
My name's Catherine.
Hi, Catherine. It's good to hear from you.
Calling from Naples, Florida.
Wonderful.
And I've just got in the car, and so I haven't heard anything that you've said, but I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay. I'm relatively healthy, I think.
Okay.
But I'm always concerned about taking supplements. I really don't take anything right now, maybe a calcium once in a while, but I'm not sure if I should be, because I've heard so many things about people taking supplements and it's not good. What's your thought? And which ones would you suggest that would be, just basic for somebody who thinks she's healthy?
Right. And that's a great question, Catherine. Thank you for asking it. That's a loaded question because it always depends on the individual. And what we're finding out about people is that they're all unique and different. And so the very first recommendation is to get as much as you can from your food sources, to eat a very broad diet consisting mostly of really good veggies, bright-colored veggies, some root vegetables, really clean protein sources. Now, if you have any symptoms, fatigue or any gastrointestinal symptoms, bloating, you don't feel like you're digesting properly, maybe you have constipation or loose stools, that's a big indication that you may not be getting enough from your food because your gut may not be working properly. And so that's where supplements come in for a lot of people. Many people have these gastrointestinal conditions where they're not getting the maximal energy and nutrients from their food because the system that would allow that food to get in there is not working. And so everyone then has different supplement requirements because of that. So the most important thing is if you have symptoms, get those diagnosed. Find out if you have a gut issue, if you're not absorbing properly. Secondly, you can get testing to know exactly what supplements you do need. So there are some really good advanced, relatively cost-effective tests that you can do that will tell you, give you an entire list of supplements that you're deficient in. And then you can, with the guidance of a nutritionist or an integrative medical doctor, figure out exactly what supplements are the best ones for you.
I see.
And now, when you choose your supplements, that's another loaded question, is because not every supplement is created equal. So you'll see studies on supplements are all over the place because supplements are all over the place. So many of them have bad fillers. They have synthetic ingredients. So you have to be very careful when you select your supplements. So this is why I recommend seeking, a professional to give you at least some preliminary advice as to which, A, what do you need, and B, where can you go safely get those? And different manufacturers make different products that are excellent. It's just you have to know which ones those are for what your needs are. So everybody needs a really good general multivitamin, but you got to make sure that it's natural, doesn't have a lot of bad fillers in it, and you have to make sure it covers your specific needs. So it's really hard for me to say, go get these general vitamins, but a good multivitamin. Pretty much everybody needs a really good fish oil capsule. Many people are deficient in B vitamins. So a really good B complex is probably a good core regimen to have. And then vitamin D. Many people are deficient in vitamin D. So, if I had to pick a core, I would say a really good multiple vitamin, a really good fish oil, a B complex, and D at the bare minimum, and then you may need more depending on what your particular needs are.
And the testing, doctor, that you talked about, are those blood work?
They're not your routine blood tests. So there's the blood test you go get with your annual physicals and such, where we could do a D and a B12, and we'll get what's called a serum or a plasma level of B12 and D. What I'm talking about is to have your cells tested. So you can it's a blood test, so we draw your blood, but when it gets to the lab, what they do is they grow out your immune cells, and they test cells for nutrients. And the benefit of that is your immune cells live for up to about a year. So what you're finding out is your body's storage of vitamins. So what it has in store to be used as needed, as opposed to the blood work which might reflect that you just took your B12 that morning and your B12 level may be high because it just happens to be floating in your bloodstream. So it's a little bit angle. And you can find out about 33 different nutrients that way from a lab called SpectraCell, which I love to use. I use other labs as well, but that's one of my favorites because it really gives you this very detailed analysis of your supplement requirements. And it may give you an idea that there's an issue with the gut. If you have a bunch of vitamin deficiencies, something's wrong with your gut, and you want to go figure that out and fix it because you're not going to be able to absorb those supplements, if the gut's not working. So you really need just a comprehensive look over, so to speak, so that you know exactly where you're starting out and what you need to do so you get the maximal benefit.
And who do you seek for these special tests that test the cells? Is that your doctor or is that a nutritionist?
Nutritionists generally can't do these tests, so an integrative medical doctor, a board-certified functional doctor, and most of the time they have nutritionists working with them. So once they diagnose and have, all the level of information that's needed, you can work with the nutritionist for your meal planning and things of that nature, but it's the physician who would diagnose the gut issues, help you to correct them, and guide you in picking, the right supplements and such that the nutritionist would then work with you. So we offer that service at our practice as well. You don't have to physically be present. So if you don't have one near you, we could certainly help as well. But it's always best to lay client.
What is the name of your practice, doctor?
Riobe Institute of Integrative Medicine. So Riobe is spelled R-I-O, B as in boy, E as in Edward.
Yes. Okay. Oh,
my pleasure, Kathy. Wonderful.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, my pleasure.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Awesome. Very good. Thank you for that question, Catherine. And we're getting ready for our first commercial break, so that's perfect timing. So thank you for joining me here on Awakened Wellness with Mylène Riobe, MD. When we come back, we'll be talking about leaky gut, how to tell if your gut's leaking like a sieve and what you can do about it. Thank you.
What happens when we begin to realize that the 200-year experiment we've called the American healthcare system has failed? Learn how spirituality, ancient traditions, and cutting-edge science are merging to create a new paradigm of wellness on Awakened Wellness with Mylène Riobe, MD. Tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Time with live shows on the first and third mornings when you can call in and ask Dr. Mylène the questions that matter most to you. Dr. Mylène is the medical director of the Riobe Institute of Integrative Medicine in Jupiter, Florida. For more information, visit riobeintegrativemedicine.com. Dream Vision 7 Radio Network invites you in for this dynamic, forward-thinking show. If you're living with fear and stress in your life, there is an answer.
If you're ready for a better way, step through The Doorway.
The Doorway is a multimedia online course for transcending fear, transforming relationships, accessing inner guidance, and experiencing more inspiration and trust in your life.
To learn more about these online courses based on the teachings of A Course in Miracles and David Hoffmeister, go to acimcourses.com.
Looking for a fun and relaxing getaway? Omega's rest and rejuvenation retreats are a great way to unwind and renew your spirit. Stroll through the garden, relax by the lake, or try a daily yoga or movement class. You can stretch your body, quiet your mind, and do as much or as little as you choose. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org.
EDECIA is a U.S. nonprofit dedicated to the dream of ending childhood malnutrition for millions of children around the world. Through the manufacture of Plumpy Nut and other nutrient-rich, peanut-based, ready-to-use foods, EDECIA has already delivered life and hope to nearly 1 million children in over 26 developing countries. To find out how you can join EDECIA's dream of ending childhood malnutrition, please visit edeciaglobal.org.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to Awakened Wellness with Milen Rayab, MD. I'm your host, Dr. Milen, right here on Dream Vision 7 Radio. If you have a question or a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Please give us a call at area code 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. So in our last segment, we were talking about how symptoms alone don't tell us what gut issue we have. So the symptoms of a leaky gut are very similar to the symptoms of Crohn's disease or irritable bowel syndrome or small bowel infections. So it's important to get tested to know exactly what it is you're dealing with. Because if you make the assumption that it's a leaky gut and you just treat for that, meanwhile you have an infection, your gut's just going to continue to leak and you're not going to get anywhere. So it's important to know exactly what you're dealing with, because a leaky gut is not really the cause of anything. It's the result of something. So it's the result of either a poor diet or toxins coming into the gastrointestinal system, damaging it and causing it to leak. Infections can occur in the small or large intestine, causing it to leak. Reduced stomach acidity and low enzyme production, where food is not properly digested, broken down into small enough pieces, that can contribute to damage, and also damage of the good bacteria. So the good bacteria live in the large intestine, and they have what we call a symbiotic relationship with us. So we accept them as part of the human body, which means that our immune system does not respond to them like our immune system would respond to bacteria causing infections. So they're part of us, and they're about 100 trillion strong in the large intestine. So we have more bacteria in our bodies than we have actual human cells, which is just mind-blowing. So this delicate balance is really required between the good bugs and our bodies. When that balance is disturbed, either with antibiotics or other invaders, other bacteria that don't belong there, these bacteria can be disturbed and they can become dysfunctional and metabolically unstable, resulting in them not performing their functions. So they do a ton for us. They make vitamins for us. They detox us. So we know that the gastrointestinal system is the largest detoxification organ in the body. So it removes toxins from the body. Very important function. They make vitamin K. They control bleeding. They, of course, help with absorption of water. They do so much for us. And when they're disturbed, that wreaks havoc. So maintaining that is important. So you have to know, like, what are the causes of the leaky gut? So not only do you want to diagnose the leaky gut, but then you have to diagnose its causes. And all that can be done with appropriate testing. And I use traditional Chinese medicine as a starting point because that helps point me in a particular direction so that I know exactly what testing I want to do in advance. But there's really very sophisticated advanced testing available in functional medicine that can tell you if you have an infection in the small intestine or the large intestine. It can tell you about your good bacteria and their counts. It can tell you if they're metabolically stable or not. It can tell you if you are producing enough enzymes, if you have enough acid in the stomach. It can also tell you if you have a leaky gut.